Welcome to the Butt Fixer Podcast, brought to you by Shane Gentry and John Van Olden. Sit back, listen up, and listen good. You're going to hear it all right because we've already done it all wrong. We're going to help you meet your goals and fix your butts. Welcome to the Butt Fixer Podcast.
Jag ska ha ett möte här.
What's that?
Hey, what's up? Yeah. What's going on,
I don't
man?
understand. I don't understand what you're saying. Well, you ain't from around here, are you?
I come from a country where when it's a World Cup, we actually invite other countries.
Yeah. The World Championship. Yeah. Not like baseball, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and
Hey, what's up,
gentlemen,
man?
everybody listening, it's an honor. We've got Mr. Paulo Mendonça on
What's up?
the podcast today.
Yes.
I gotta start because I'm like, I know this podcast is infantile stage. It's new. It's just, we're getting our feet wet, but man, your music, specifically the song "You Gotta Believe," that is the second only song in my entire life where I've had to stop everything I was doing and figure out who the fuck that is and why the fuck I don't know who it is. And why don't I already know about this, about you? And the other one was Cry of Love. And that was in 1994 was the first time that it happened. And and back then, of course, we didn't have any internet. I'm sitting on the side of the road listening to this song and went to a payphone and called the radio station and was like, who was that? The song Peace Pipe, blah, 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 you know. And just last week we got to interview Jason Patterson, the drummer from Cry of Love. And so here you are today, man. I just got to say it's an honor to know you and to be able to sit here and talk to you. And I can't wait to hopefully turn some more fans on to what you do because it's absolutely amazing. Man,
it's my pleasure and it's my honor. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. So I had to get that out of my system first. So man, I don't know. You've got such a wild career and a wild story. And so so I know you're in Sweden, but you are Portuguese, correct? Like where did
I was born in Portugal, yes.
Okay. That's where John's at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your mom is from Porto.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. The small world.
Small world. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
just tell us a little bit of, just kind of start us at the beginning. Let's go through it, man. We got time. Oh, puppy dog. Never mind. Screw the music. Let's talk dog.
Yeah.
Talk about the dog. Sorry, Shane, you were saying, man, sorry.
Yeah, no, I just want to hear like what got you. Was there music in your home? Do you come from a musical family? Because I mean, you've certainly got smacked with the talent and the gift and the to play and to write and to arrange and standards and how did this all come about? Like where did you get that passion for for playing music?
I think it was just for me personally, man. It was like it was just when you're 12 years old, you start playing drums, and then suddenly, man, I was an extreme shy kid,
Okay.
So I was comfortable, when you play, local guys and you have a little band, it sounds like shit. And I was a drummer, and it fitted me quite well. And the more gigs we did as a drummer, the more I looked at the guitar player, man, and all the chicks were looking at that dude, and he was going, ugly mother, So I said, fuck it, man. That's where I need to be. You need to get a grip.
Right.
No, but all seriously,
that's pretty awesome.
But it was no, man. I just found the guitar and started playing with it, and still today, I lose all my picks. So I never had a pick anywhere. I looked everywhere, and I started with my fingers, and I'm trying to find my own little system, and and for all the kids out there, this is pre-YouTube.
Right.
Yeah.
What is that? There was a time in life where there was no YouTube. Are you shitting me?
Wow.
Wow, we just blew somebody's mind.
Mom. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
so I figured out when I was 12, 13, that was it, man. There was no coming back for me.
Right.
I just
So
knew
you
that.
got bit. You got bit good then.
Oh yeah, I got bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's from that day on, I started visualizing myself doing albums, hanging out with, the cool crowd and all things,
Yeah.
and then suddenly, I get my first deal, and before you know it,
Wait a minute, back up. You can't Yeah, hang on. We just got a record deal. Yeah.
no,
No, like, so what's that trajectory? Because I know, and we're talking. So what year is this for you when all this is going down?
What is going down? What do you mean?
Well, when you're on your trajectory, you transition from drums to guitar. Now you're just playing in. I'm assuming just a local band, maybe doing covers or something. Are you doing originals? Are you in the circuit? Like where's? Because what I'm trying to get at is the music business today is nothing like it was then, and I want to just kind of have like some kind of base to go on. Like, how did you get to a record deal? Like, is that just gigging relentlessly? Is it a connection? Did you somebody just happen to be in the right place at the right time? I mean, how does that work?
No, it was for starter. I never really believed and understood the whole touring thing. I get it. Don't get me wrong. But you only have one liver.
Yeah, true that.
I've done a lot of gigs. Don't get me wrong. I started out as a pub player when I was 21, and entertaining in pubs, and that's kind of where I learned how to deal with an audience, which is extremely important. To how to control the nerves and that all of that comes with routine. So I just didn't just pop up.
Right.
But that was touring. That was my profession. I made money out of it. Because here in Sweden, I got not tons of friends, but I got a bunch of friends. These guys, they make a hell of a living playing that kind of music, that cover, doing pubs, ski resorts and all that shit.
How did you get to Sweden? That's a question. Because you started out in Portugal. Like, how did you get to Sweden in the first place?
Long story short, my father's from Africa, Angola.
Okay.
And I'm not going to do my classic joke, but he's from Angola, not the prison, the country.
Yeah. That's right.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Unfortunately, we got to go.
So anyway, so he moved here because of the the Independence War.
Okay.
In the early 60s, late 50s, and he ended up in Sweden because he was fighting for the Portuguese side, which is kind of weird for him. And he said, "Fuck this! I'm going to shoot my own people." So
right,
murdered and fucked off, basically.
Yeah.
This was 67. No, this was 60. We came 69. Yeah, 67. And then we followed from Portugal, and Portugal at that time was a fascist country, so they didn't let us out. So it was one of those typical, Cold War type of shits,
No kidding.
Yeah. We tried like 6 or 8 times. They stopped us.
No shit.
Yeah, it was crazy.
How old were you at this stage?
I was 5.
Oh wow. Do you remember any of that vividly, or is it just kind of what you've been told by your family over the years? Or
that's what we heard, Wow. But we couldn't go back to Portugal until 74, when that whole big revolution, 25th of April, and all that shit. Then that fascist guy, he died, and Portugal evolved, and so that's how we ended up in Sweden.
Now people immigrate here. Now people know it.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Yeah,
Tables have turned.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
man, it's
So
crazy.
like, was there any reason for Sweden? I mean, did you have other family there? Was there any connection
Yeah.
there? Or did y'all just go, hey man, Sweden
My
sounds like a
uncle-
fucking cool place to go?
Yeah, it's not like my father, had a map.
Right,
So
Sweet. Yeah.
that fits us.
right.
Man, I've never seen snow in my fucking life, dude. And we
Yeah.
came in December with Portuguese summer clothes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Man, that I do remember. I remember walking out that airplane, and it was here in Torslanda in Gothenburg, and that, man, that I will never forget. That was a shocker, man.
Right. It was.
But today I'm so happy that we live here, because I don't think I'd be where I am today musically. I probably do something else, but it gave me a good platform to, as I call Sweden, it's like at least it used to be the world's biggest pillow. You can go out in the world, get your ass kicked, and you can just stand beautifully. Here's
Fall
Sweden.
back on Sweden. Yeah.
And we don't have that knife.
Right.
It is in many countries, where,
So did your dad come from Angola back to Portugal, and then from Portugal to Sweden? Is that right?
Yeah, he came from Angola to Sweden, and then he went back to Africa.
Oh.
And lived there for like 8-9 years, and then he went back to Portugal, and now he lives in Sweden.
All right. What? I know your mom is from here, from Porto. Where did your dad live over here?
In Lisboa.
Okay. Lisbon. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Just getting
I was
geography.
just curious of that, all that, because all that like influences you in whatever you do. Just your norm, but I mean that's going to come out in your music, especially when you're expressing yourself like that in an art form that way. It's going to come out like your roots. Your story is in there. Those riffs are carved by your life experiences, and so I was just kind of curious. I wanted to dig a little deeper before we got to the how do we get a record deal.
Yeah.
It's like I'm that type of guy, man. I'm the easiest guy in the world. Everything for me is 2 and 2 is 4.
Right.
And for me, it's quite simple. You feel, and it just happens. I never put any thought to it. I will never go to the studio and start doing a ponder. Doing this. That ain't gonna fucking.
Right.
I hear it, and it could be in the car. Most of the songs, few songs I've done in the studio. Anyway, it's like sit in the car and I can drum on the thing, and I'm like, ooh, that's a good. And you start, but I never, and it's the after process. But when the idea is there and everything, that's where I start. So it's kind of, it starts with feelings and it goes over to some sort of pragmatism. Do you know what I mean? What do I want to do? Where do I want to go with this song? And then I start, and then next you know it. But if I don't feel it, scrap.
I mean, I have a T-shirt that says "Music is what feelings sound like."
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
So,
it is.
So it's like so for me that's the process. I don't do ponder music.
Yeah.
I've written a lot of it. I've been sitting in sessions with people, and I get bored easily. Start talking about songs and shit, and I say, let's just fucking get on with it.
Yeah.
We know it's going to be a good one. Come on, but they need that. But they need that shit. But how about if she walks into the room and then she sees this? I'm like, fuck's sake, dude.
Nah. Right.
Play it.
Go.
Get it on.
Go.
Yeah.
Actually, Shane and I were talking about that's how we run our business. So we just had somebody on. She has a business coach, and I said, "Wow, business coach. That sounds pretty cool." Shane and I we just set shit on fire and see what happens. Yeah. Just do it.
You need
Very
to
little
airplane and see whatever you fucking catch on the way down. Either you,
exactly.
And that's basically how I guess all three of us have lived our lives.
Yeah. Mine was
Sometimes,
always a line an old dude told me a long time ago. He said, "You can't fall off the floor," and I've fell out of that plane and landed on the floor a few times. And you
ain't
you
we all?
stay down or you get the fuck up.
Yeah, but if you're in Sweden, it's like a pillow down there, man.
It's a pillow.
Yeah.
The world's
Well,
pillow.
world greatest pillow. Well, the thing is, man, I was aware of this pillow.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That pillow was just there,
Yeah.
but that pillow can also be very unproductive.
Mm-hmm.
You can use that pillow just by feeling I can breathe,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and all that shit. But it can also make you lazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was totally aware of the security that there is or was in Sweden. But I just used it in a way that I could breathe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
When it was a lot of stress and a lot of this, and everybody was on your fucking ass, and all that shit was going on. I just came to Sweden because Swedes are not they're not on you on unless it's 2:00 in the morning. They're fucking hammered. Then they won't shut the fuck up. My best friend, man. I love you, dude.
I love you, man.
You and me, bro. But in general, people are just very chill people.
Yeah.
They don't care when they spend 10 hours putting their couch together in Sweden. I got a whole house full of Sweden here. Every fucking piece of furniture in my house came from IKEA, man.
They don't complain. It's beautiful.
I got a drawer full of extra parts, man.
And they must have put this in there in case I lost one, maybe, or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just gonna fall apart when you sit on it.
That's why I pay these motherfuckers to do it. Fuck that.
Yeah, it's funny as shit, man. So how'd you go from so you started out playing in bars, man, in the pubs, making money in the pubs. How did you go from that to getting becoming you're a professional if you're making money in the clubs, but how did you go from making money playing in the pubs to getting a record, like making your first record, getting a record deal?
The first year or two, it was exciting. I got off watching people dance, standing on tables, drinking, and gave me a kick, But quite soon into this life, I just knew that it won't last forever. I can't be doing this forever.
Right.
And at that time I didn't drink anything. So what I did, when somebody gave, hey man, I want to buy you a beer, and I said, hey, thanks, dude. And then I went to the bartender, man, sell this fucking, give him the money. Because I knew the next day
Smart.
I'm going to be writing songs.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I had this portable 4-track thingy with me, and I just wrote songs, man, every day. I woke up in the morning. It was pre-telephone, mobile phones, and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I sat basically the whole day and just did demos. Because I always knew, and if it was a good one, I had like this MIDI weird thingy where you can program and shit. I tried the songs at night,
Right.
And if it worked, I felt, this is a good one. So I kept that one. And by the time I made like 10, 12 songs, I sent out a cassette with 3 songs, and 3 songs, 1 song, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know how many, man. It's just been so, I think I did 40 send-outs to record labels.
Okay.
If it's enough. And I got rejected all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was 24, 25. So from 21, you just work,
Yeah.
And the, the youthful energy, the drive.
Oh, yeah.
But it kind of took its toll, getting all these rejections. Man,
Right.
am I wrong, or should I go more mainstream? And started fighting with myself.
Yeah.
All that ended up, fuck that. This is what I'm gonna do.
Right.
And then one night, after I got the that last rejection, I sat down and listened to Prince album, Purple Rain. And I said, fuck, this is an amazing album. And an address. So I said, fuck it, man. Why not? A bunch of cassettes, send that shit off. A couple of months later, forgot about it, got home, saw an envelope with a Paisley Park.
You sent your demos to Prince?
Yeah, to Prince. It's crazy.
That's badass.
I said, fuck it, man. I've had so much.
That is wild.
I could deal with one more.
You can't fall off the floor, like you said.
Can't fall off the floor.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and then I got this letter back, and I had a whiskey, and having a whiskey for me, that's a big fucking deal. So I said, I drink. I said, waiting to open it up, and eventually I said, fuck it, man. So I ripped the envelope, and then it's just, you can see the logo and everything.
Are you guys locking up, or is it just me?
Now you're good. Keep going. It'll come back.
And basically, it just said how to proceed ? And I was like,
wow.
But and not in a million did I ever think to how do you say, to proceed, so to speak, because at that time you work with Prince, you sound like Prince. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it was me at the time, that girl, I forgot her fucking name.
Sheila E.
Sheila E. Thank you.
Yep. Comes from my hometown, by the way.
But anyway, but it gave me the confidence to understand that there is something there,
Yeah.
And that helped me a lot, man, because after getting all these rejections, it kind of takes its toll, toll. So it gave me the confidence to go. So I did some more demos, and then I read this book called The Music Business, and I saw an address there for this guy, and I read the whole thing, and I just, fuck it, man, I just send it to him. Next day, the guy, he got the mail. He called me up. Who are you? Why haven't I fucking heard of you before? And then I told him the whole story,
exactly
man. They have been rejected from everyone, you know. And then he went over to every record label and said, have you guys heard about this Paulo Mendonça? This guy is fucking insane, blah, blah, blah. Suddenly, man, the same fucking assholes who said, well, at this time, we're not looking for a new act, but keep up the good work, go fuck yourself, all that shit.
Yeah.
Suddenly, man, it was a bidding war for my ass. And I'm sitting there, the guy called me up, man.
That's awesome.
So-and-so, all the big fucking labels wanted a piece of my ass, And but there was especially one guy that I felt could do it, and he was Stickan Andersson, the Polar.
Okay.
And that was he's, for me, he's a legendary guy, and he's one of the fifth member of ABBA, the band.
Oh yeah,
okay.
Sweet. Yeah.
So I signed with them, and that was it, man. And signed a publishing deal, 89, and then in 91, first album.
What label was that? What label is that? Is that the same label ABBA was on at the time?
Yeah, Polar.
So you signed on ABBA's label.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That's crazy.
Cool, man.
Yeah, you don't quite sound like ABBA though, man. It's a little different, little bit of a different sound to me, man. Yeah.
Well, we have different bank accounts as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I don't know what happened to Shane. We dropped him, and now he ain't coming back. But
I'm here.
I think we got to keep going, and he'll jump on there. Yeah.
You
can't hear me?
Yep.
You got me?
So then
I'm here.
How many records did you make with these guys?
3 albums.
And they did. How did they do?
The first one didn't do that well, and the second one they messed it up, something terrible. The A&R guy there is the worst of the worst, and he fucked it up. So it kind of sold. The first one sold 10,000 albums, which was not good. it's good now, but then at that time it was shit, you know.
Okay.
So, but the second album, which is the one that kind of made my career, went really well in Sweden. You know, I was on every fucking TV show you can imagine. I was on radio.
Yeah. We were talking about that.
And it was just climbing up the charts, you know. But the problem was they only printed 10,000.
Oh, Jesus. Of that one, of the good one.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at that time, you know how it was, man. You took that long ride to the record store and you want to buy a Paulo Mendonça album. And then they said, man, it's out of stock.
That's crazy.
You're going to buy something else. And by the time, you know, they filled up the stock, the album was basically fucking dead.
Then it's over.
Shit.
That's crazy.
So they fucked it up in a pristine way.
What's the name of that album?
Different Faces.
Different Faces. All right.
Yeah.
When was that? When did that release?
93.
93. All right. I'm going to check it. I know it's out there now. Instant gratification right here. I can pull it out. Yeah.
Love it.
Awesome.
So then, am I back in?
They
Y'all
have
hearing me?
touring on that for that album?
We toured like crazy here in Sweden.
All in Sweden.
All over Sweden, man. North, south, and it was east, west, everywhere, man. So we also learned where not to play. And it was tough, man. Some of the gigs we did, we emptied places. I mean, literally, we fucking people just, what is this shit, you know? They weren't ready for us, man.
They book you. They're waiting for ABBA, and they get you.
Oh man, they're looking for any kind of cover band, but not
That's crazy. Yeah.
So
were you like we just had that James Patterson on that did the Jason Patterson that did the drummer, and he said they went out on a tour to support an album, and they're playing to nobody. And then the album takes off and they circle back around 8 months later and the whole place is sold out. Plus they're playing a bigger room.
Yeah.
So it was a kind of similar thing.
It's the way it is, man. You kind of have to do those gigs, you know, because it's like me, you know. Would I go just randomly see a fucking band? No, you know. But
I do. All the time.
But I don't think I would. You know, I never did even before. You know, I went to see Prince. I went to see Frank Zappa, Earth, Wind & Fire, Thin Lizzy. But randomly just go in, no. So I get it. You need to tour. You need the word of mouth. You need.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing that's a little different now is you get. I mean, I get music by I'll listen to an artist, and now like the Spotify or whatever will start throwing similar artists into that mix, and then you're like, who is this? That's how we found you. Shane was at my house. Your song popped on. He stopped dead in his tracks. I think he somehow found your social media while the song was still playing and sent you a message.
Oh yeah.
And you messaged him right back. Yeah. I don't think the song was even over before you two were
I was
talking back and forth.
Remember that?
Yeah. So I use an app because I like to travel, so I use an app called Bands in Town. I'm sure you heard of it, and that's how I'll find. I'm in a random place. I'll look at this app and say what band is in town.
Yeah.
And it'll be a band I never heard of, and then I'll dial them up on Spotify, and I think they sound okay. I'll go see them. And I've been that guy, the one of three people in the room. I saw a band a few weeks ago here in Porto called the Sunfruits they said a psychedelic rock band from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, I go to Spotify. They have like 10 listeners on Spotify. I was like, why are these guys in Porto from Australia with 10 Spotify listeners? And I went to the gig. There were about 100 people there, and got to talking to those kids, and they just got lucky. They just somebody from Europe was in Australia and saw them at a bar and booked them a tour in Europe, and they played like for 3 months, all kinds of little bars all over Germany, Switzerland, Portugal, Spain. So pretty wild, man. So
it is wild, man, and like I said, it is tough. because if you don't have a name, that's a young man's game. I'd never do it. I turned down a well-paid tour in the U.S. Doing a college tour in '96 in California, and I just looked at a big ass map, and I saw all these tools, and I was like, "Fuck this, man! I ain't doing it."
You didn't want to make that tour?
No.
Wow.
Because sure, financially it would have been great, but I'd be gone for a year. I had kids, That's how big America is. In California, it's insane.
Yeah.
And plus, I was booming in Japan at that time, where I was making big bucks. So.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Did you tour over there?
Yeah.
That's a wild place. I went for the first time 2 years ago. That is it's another world, man. It's another planet.
It's a different world, and I just love it. Here we go.
You're back. He's on, man.
Fucking fuck. Piece of shit. Fucking spectrum ass fucking internet.
We don't need you anymore. We're about
done.
Here,
I just fucking worked myself out of a job.
Yeah.
Jesus. Sorry, y'all.
What kind of clubs? What kind of clubs in Japan were you playing?
Oh man, fuck, it was such a long time ago. I mean, we played. we played everywhere, dude. I mean, we played in Osaka, Yokohama, up north with Sapporo, Tokyo, and any Tsushima you can ever imagine in Japan. We went to,
and
we
awesome.
did that route a couple of times, and I love it, man. And usually we started playing at 7:00, and I shit you not, at 8:00, 8:01, people walked out like snake wise from the thing, picked up the shit from the floor, and it was fucking squeaky clean, man.
Yeah, it's an interesting place, man. I miss it. I want to go back, but it's a haul, man. It's a long haul.
Man. They're lovely people, man, and straightforward people, and I like that,
Yeah.
Sure. I used to be so intrigued with the Japanese culture, with honor and all that shit. And I remember I was there for 2 weeks doing promotion. So I stayed in a fucking great hotel. So I was jet lagged as a motherfucker, man. And they said, we need to go to Shibuya. We're going to go out and hang out. And I was like, great, man. I want to soak in. And I was doing all this shit because, first thing I see is this fucking young kid with his green hair throwing up in the middle of Shibuya, drunk as fuck. I was like, dude, this is like in Sweden on a fucking Saturday night.
Yeah, it makes you wonder.
Yeah, man. You can
I know, like coming home. Well, the train stopped running at 1:00, so these folks go out after work, and they have to make a decision at about 12:30. Are they going to quit drinking, or are they going to just go for the long haul? So about 3:00 in the morning, when I'm walking to my hotel, 3:00 in the morning, there's dudes like passed out everywhere, in their seats, on the ground, in the subway. They just drop where they drop, man. I'm thinking to myself, are they gonna like just in the morning just get up and brush their suit off and walk right back to the office?
Right.
Brush their teeth in the pond. We went to a place and we walked in. It was so funny, man. You could see all the ties. Normally you hang up your jacket.
Yeah.
These fucking guys, man, they put their ties there.
That's great, man.
And there's something with their metabolism. I don't know what it is, but they can't really drink. They shouldn't drink. People from Asia. And they got fucking smashed, man.
Yeah, smashed, man.
The whole idea of Japan just died the first 2 fucking days. And I loved it, man. We went to, and I wanted to go to the real Japanese places, but I didn't want to go to the European type of places, man. So I wanted to soak in the culture and the people there.
They're cool people. You gotta have a local with you to go to those places, though. If you just walk in. I tried to walk into a few. I walked into one bar. I mean, over there, Shane, the bars are in high rises, right?
Oh yeah.
So like you go to the fourth floor, it's on the high rise, and there's a door, and when you open the door, it's like you walked in off the street. It could be like an Irish pub, it could be anything. It's crazy.
Oh wow.
And I heard live music coming out of a window on the street, and I could see, on the third floor, there's something going on up there. So I go up there, and it's 100% Japanese salarymen, all drunk as hell, and their boss is up there singing with the band, singing some Elvis song with the band. They all got they literally are their ties are like tied around their heads and stuff like this, and they don't even look at me. It's like sometimes when you walk in by yourself, they'll do this to you. They say no, like locals, like they don't want you. And it's not that they're prejudiced; it's that they don't want to deal with some jackass that can't speak Japanese. They don't want to speak English to you. They don't want to deal with it. If I could go in there and speak Japanese, that's another story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had. And also the other thing in Japan is when you walk into these little bars, it is always the owner of the place behind the bar. They don't have employees there. It's always the guy that owns the bar is the guy that's serving you your drinks every
family.
night.
Yeah, it's I love that place, man. But you're right. I wouldn't. We were lucky. We always had an A&R with us.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that could interpret it. Same thing when we toured in Russia. It was the same thing there, man. And it's funny, man. When you're out there doing your thing, it's like I said, it's different cultures.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the last gig we did in Moscow. We played in a place called Cosmo. Yeah, Cosmo, I think it was. And it was the audience was amazing, except for the guy sitting on our left. I think that guy fucking blinked 1 or 2 times throughout the whole gig. We're sitting there, and they had like 3 stunning ladies sitting next to him, and a friend or a henchman. Fuck, do I know? So I was sitting there.
Friend or henchman?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a song. There's a new song right there.
There's a new song. So the bass player comes to me and says, "Man, can we swap places?" I said, "Fuck what, man? We're gigging." Yeah, but this fucking guy is doing my head in, man. The guy looks like a fucking serial killer. And I'm like, fuck it, man. Just focus on the other people. And so we finish the gig. We get it one more time. And then we do one more song, and then we fuck off. In the backstage, of course, the owner takes out this big fucking bottle of vodka. And I'm like, no, you drink vodka. You drink now. And I'm like, fuck. So, okay, I'll have one. And then I feel a hand over here, and I look up, and it's the henchman.
Henchman.
And I go, here we fucking go. Oh, my God, my last day in fucking... It's going to kick off, man. And he speaks in very bad English. And friend, to come. And I said, no, man, I'm good, man. I'm just sitting here chilling with the guys. And he speaks Russian to the owner. And I said, well, what's he saying? He wants you to meet friend, talk you. I said, no, just tell him I'm okay. And he goes, you best go. And I shit you not, from the kitchen to that table, I think I saw about 8 fucking James Bond movies, and I died in every one of them. All the fucking scenarios in my head, man.
Right.
But I get to the fucking to the table, and the guy takes out a stool, and I sit down, and the guy looks at me, and he puts his hand on my knees, and he goes, my friend, best concert ever. I said, you must, because you didn't blink once, dude.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah, saw everything.
And here's the kicker, and this is what I love about us human beings, how we see things differently, and I think that's music for me. He was annoyed that people were dancing and having fucking fun. He thought they were disrespectful for us.
Oh.
But with the music that we do, I thrive on these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I would die playing for guys like him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he probably enjoyed it more than the dancing people and people that was just fucking, doing that, But I grow. playing for you do the riff for Just in Case, and people start jumping.
Yep.
Man, that's a boner and a half, dude.
Yes, sir.
What year is that you were in Russia?
Oh man, it was like 2008, maybe.
Wow. Right. Like are you still supporting records then, or are you just out on tour?
That gig just ended up on my lap. There was, you know, one guy had a cassette of Different Faces album, and he, some fucking weird way, he and a guy that I know, a drummer who's married to a Russian woman, they were in Russia, and he said in Russian, you have to listen to this, Paulo Mendonça. So I fucking made an interview with the guy, because the guy is a drummer and a journalist. And they started talking. I said, we need to get Mendo over here, man. And before you know it, man, they even called him Mendo.
That's funny.
And that was a cassette. He found a cassette of that album, and he said his dream was to get me. He was from Georgia, but to get me to Russia and to Georgia. I haven't been to Georgia, but yeah, man, it was. So that how that tour ended up, and it was one of the most nicest experience, you know. And but it also goes to show that, you know, people are different. They both.
Well, I know you had Shane. I know you had Shane hooked up to come out to Sweden when I mean Shane.
Yeah, right before COVID.
Know if you heard. I don't know if you heard or not when we were talking. I told him how you heard the song in my living room.
Yeah. I was listening. I was talking the whole time, but
playing.
Yeah. Before that song was over, we were already chatting. I was like, how fucking cool is the goddamn internet now? You know?
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, because I think one of the first things I said was, I said, you know, I love the song. Oh my God, maybe stopping my tracks, and we were chatting a little bit, and I was like, so where are you from, man? I mean, he was like, Sweden. I was like, when the fuck did Sweden get the funk, man? Good God. I mean, I was in his living room dancing, and I don't dance. But man, shit, I'm telling, man, that song, man, it's got some fucking stank on it, man. That's the best way I could describe it, man. Thank
you, man.
I was instantly hooked. I downloaded the whole catalog. I was like, okay, I got to go down the rabbit hole here, man. And none of it was a disappointment. Every one of them is one banger after another, man. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
So Paulo had you and that band you were with hooked up to come out to Sweden. And then
we were supposed to do we were supposed to come out there with who's the booking guy again? Frank something?
Frederick.
Frederick. Yeah. He had us on a night. We were doing like House of Blues and had a couple other nice gigs. I was like, hell yes, you know. And and fucking COVID motherfucker took us out.
The 2 years the world stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But it didn't stop in Sweden. Thank fucking God for that.
Yeah, it was different over there. You guys had a different approach, I think.
Oh man, we could still play for 50 people. That's where I started doing all these acoustic gigs, you know. And, and I'm still doing them, and I love mixing. The band thing is always going to be my thing. But the funny thing is with the acoustic thing is just I've been around for a long fucking time. I met some weird fucking people, some cool people, and weird shit has happened, and it's like, and I love telling those stories because with the band you just don't have time. It's the different tempo.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
From song one to, you know, people don't want to sit there. And I remember, man, when I wrote Doggy Style, man. So I was doing the nasty, and suddenly, man, fuck that shit, man. People don't give a fuck. They want to hear the song. Get to the song, man. We don't know how to do that, doggy.
I gotcha.
Don't bore us. Get to the chorus.
Exactly. No, so it's like the acoustic thing. I do have time to, you know, I do have time also to do the songs I've written in Nashville and stuff like that. So it kind of gives me. I enjoy it, man. I really enjoy it, but I also I adore playing with the band, especially with my guys and
you got some talent.
Oh, these kids,
Frank,
crazy motherfuckers, man.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you with the acoustic thing too, man. There is an absolute art to, and that's one that I don't even touch my guitar unless I'm going to play with the band because like for me to sit down and play by myself, it's dog shit. It's terrible. But like to sit down with a guitar, for one person to sit there with an instrument and a voice and sound like there's a fucking band playing that's out of my, I don't even understand that. Like if you listen to James Taylor, especially, I mean, that guy you sit down and when I've listened to a bunch of, saw a lot of your clips online, and I mean, it sounds like you're playing with a fucking band, and it's you. I mean, there's a very special something that goes into being able to do that by yourself and fill those gaps and the rearrangements of some of your songs. I mean, I'm sure you play them differently.
Man, I've done so much acoustic gigs throughout the years now. Like I said, if you would have asked me pre-COVID to do an acoustic thing, I would have said fuck to the no. It wasn't happening. But now, man, and in the beginning, I was a bit rusty because it's a different technique when you play with an acoustic guitar and an electric guitar, and which is kind of hard sometimes. Mm-hmm. Oh shit! Yeah, we're playing with
back and forth.
Band now. I remember when we played with the band now in July. And we're sitting there doing the sound check, and suddenly, man, I'm like, "Oh fuck, I forgot. Yeah, there's a bridge there." Because fuck the bridge, man. When I do the acoustic thing, I just go straight to the solo. And suddenly, man, I've done it so much, I had my head was spinning, so they had to teach me my own fucking songs. That was no, but it's no. Let's say if I'd come to the U.S., I would never come with the band. It's too much of a fucking hassle. But I definitely, if I do something in the U.S., I'd love to just bring my acoustic guitar, my fucking gear. Then it's me. Then it's on me. Nothing else. And that's the cost. Just me.
Yeah. Well, there's that too.
That I would do for sure. Just to put that on a bucket list, and whatever happens. But with the band, no, man, it's crazy just to get in, and the carnet, it's a hassle to get into the US play. So, and with the band, fuck that shit, man.
Right.
But myself, fuck yeah, man. I'd love to.
How did you guys before? Because we had Paulo on before, and we had a tech difficulty, lost the whole episode. So this is a redo, although it's totally different than the last one. But the last time we forgot to mention that you and Shane got together. I think Paulo set up you were doing like Artists Against Bullying or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So like, I want to like hear that story, because even Shane told it to me or explained it to me, and I still didn't quite get the whole gist of what you guys put together.
No, it was me and a friend of mine called Peter, who's a bass player. We talked about it, and because he was bullied as a kid. I wasn't bullied, but I was the one that helped the bullyee. You know what I mean?
Henchman.
I always the little guy.
Bully's henchman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was the one kicking henchman's ass.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but on a serious note, but I always, I never really liked bullies. And so we said, let's do something, man. So we started this Artists United Against Bullying. So I got my friend Jeff in as a singer. So we wrote this song called Hero. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was great, man. And so we got all these musicians from all over the world, from all the bands, all the metal band, because Peter used to be in a big metal band. And basically, so they all put up our sign, saying that they supported us, man. And then this whole fucking COVID happened, and the guy that, I think his name was Neil something, funny guy, his Instagram is fucking insane. There's something wrong with that fucking guy, funny guy. But he's the guy, he's a photographer, so he met everybody. So everybody that he met, hey man, do you want to support this? And so he took tons of pictures with the Metallica.
Yeah, I was wondering how you got all those to everybody, because I mean it was like Slayer and Metallica. I mean, it was all the big boys, yeah,
all the big boys. So it was that guy. The guy did an outstanding job, and so that's and then it kind of died off during the COVID, basically, you know, and I haven't even thought about picking it up again, because Peter, he's got his life, and I got so much shit I need to do here, and releasing more songs. I'm doing this fucking blues album, which so it's going to be so. Unfortunately, it's not time. And
you put a track on there, Shane, right?
No, I think Paulo, you had different artists trying to re-record Hero, right?
Yeah,
something to that effect, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I did a horrible hack job version of it that I'm sure never saw the light of day. Huh?
You're too hard on yourself, man.
No, I know when to fuck up.
No, man, I always say, man, if Bob Dylan had that mentality, man, we'd have no fucking Bob Dylan.
Right. You got a point. You got a point.
So yeah. Anyway, so that's the story with the.
I got it. All right, man.
Yeah. So and being this Butt Fixer podcast, and we try to we want to pull the curtain back a little bit, a little like so through your trajectory from the beginning where we started to present day. Like, have you always been able to make a living because it is the music business? You got to play, or you got to record, or you got to write, you got to sell songs, you got to do something. Like, have you been able to maintain a completely music based life, or have you ever had to go get a job at something to make ends meet during the trajectory, or did you just stay foot on the gas, music, or and just live around the means that you could make at the time?
No, it's a last job I did. That was called a job, if you know what I mean. I was cleaner in Volvo, and I fucking hated it so much. And this Finnish lady, I just fell asleep in the sauna. That was always the last stop of the whole cleaning thing. And I was, and she walks in and said, "What the fuck? You're fired." And I'm like, "See you, bitch." And I was 19 then. And so from 21 until now, I only made a living of playing music.
That's amazing, man. That's the dream for musicians. That's it's so much better. I don't know. I'd rather whatever, like our trajectory, both John and I both, started with, very, little means and built it into
jack shit. Yep.
and built it into our own little empires. And as you did with your music career, it's just, as a musician, it's like, it's the gold. It's like, if you could just pick up your guitar and make a living, would be just the most epic shit ever, Yeah,
but like I said, man, I'm always, I always try to make people understand, you see, you heard "You Gotta Believe."
No, yeah.
And, but for me, when I hear "You Gotta Believe" and all that shit, I hear all the strife, all the fighting, all the fucking, for me to be on that stage.
Yeah.
It didn't happen like this,
Sure.
So it's been a lot of work, man. And I understand you start a business and you feel like this is what you want to do. Fine. But in what I do is something, I'm not saying it's better, but I'm just saying it's just a little bit different for me, because I decided at 12, this is it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to do anything else.
Yeah.
But it's been it's tough, man, because you have to maintain, you can't relax. You can't just chill. I still have to practice. I still have to, because my band, these young motherfuckers, man, Frank, what does he do?
God, Jesus.
Slasher movies, jerks off, and play drums.
No, he don't play drums. That motherfucker.
He is drummer.
Oh my God, dude! If y'all are listening to this, it's Frank Nilsson, right? Did I pronounce his last name correctly?
Yeah, that's it,
dude. That dude is a fucking monster, dude.
You know what I mean? And if I don't keep track, he's going to make me sound like a fucking amateur. You know, because I got kids. Frank's got nothing, and that's all he does. He sits and practice, gigs, and if he does a mistake, the guy punishes himself by fucking next time I want. You know, he's that cat, you know.
Yeah.
And I love it, man. That's why I like playing with these young bucks, you know, because he's not that young anymore, but he was that young. I was 24 when I started playing with him, some shit like that.
Wow.
And I met him when he was 17, you know. The same thing with the bass player, Linus. I met that guy when he was 18, you know.
Wow.
And now he's 27 or some shit. So it's like, but they're really good in what they do.
Yeah.
And I'm in that age that you can easily get overconfident, you know. Come on, I've done shit for so long. You know, I am music. And before these motherfuckers are playing circles around me, you know.
Right.
So I need to, you know, I need to be there, you know, and it gives me a kick, you know, to become better, and that's all I want to do. But to live from what I do, it wasn't that easy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sure. Of course.
And I'm happy. I feel privileged but to be a musician during COVID, you know, it's like the first thing people talk about when they get married is, okay, music.
Yeah.
And then you say the price and they go fucking bananas. But a pipe goes at the house, they have no problem paying fucking $80,000 fucking dollars to fix it because it needs fixed. And people just see music as an easy fucking access, and it does my fucking head in, you know. Not that I would play on a fucking wedding. I didn't even play on my own wedding.
Yeah, that's funny.
So yeah, but I just but I also do a lot of master classes and stuff.
Right.
You know, so I have a plan A. Never going to forget when I met George Duke, man. I mean, I always come back to that motherfucker, man. When I met him at the Montreux Festival in Switzerland. It was like an after party at Quincy Jones's hotel room. And it was one of those hotel rooms, you know, those 70s, you know, the big, you know, you have slide doors to the bedroom, and the bedroom was bigger than fucking, you know, Ohio State, you know. So there was drums there was bass, it was everything in that fucking, it was insane. And I saw all these fucking amazing musicians, you know, some played with Frank Zappa, who's one of my childhood heroes, and I see this guy, and that's fucking George Duke, and I'm thinking, yeah, damn, I need to talk to George. At the beginning, man, he thought I was a fucking, you know, oh, for fuck's sake. But the more we talk, the more, you know, we just became two musicians, you know, that just love music. And he said two things, which I'm never going to forget. He said, well, Paulo, you see, the second you have a plan B, it becomes plan B. And it took me a couple of years to understand what he was saying. But nowadays, I understand 100% what the fuck it means, you know. Yeah. Because the second you have that security of, man, I still have my profession, I still have this, you will never have the eye of the tiger to pursue plan A. You know what I mean?
100%. I know exactly what you mean.
And then he said, the second thing he said, I can't stand musicians, but I love players. And that one also, I was like, what the fuck is it? The guy's on drugs or some shit. It's the same shit, but it ain't.
It ain't, yeah.
It's a big fucking difference. A musician, man, he goes, okay, what kind of money do we have? Do I have my own room? They think about all the shit around the gig before thinking, man, a gig. As a player, he says, yeah, man,
pretty insightful.
I pop up. You know, it's like me. People invite me to shit and when I say yes, man, I don't ask these fucking questions. I say, where is it? I'm home, man. I pop it out. I do a song. It's no big deal. You know, if it's a a vibe, if I feel, okay, great musicians, man, I want to have a taste of that, then I'll fucking do it. But I won't be asking all these fucking other questions, you know?
Right.
So that's what I love about the guys that I play with. They just, okay, guys, we got these dates. They go, whoo, because they always know I take care of them in one way or another.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been enough on the road, so I know that nobody wants to share a fucking room. So
right,
you just fix it, and that's it. You know.
Yeah.
But those two things, man, just followed me throughout my whole career. You know, those words of wisdom of a guy I respected musically and
right,
soulful guy. You know,
it's very insightful.
Yeah,
I had a plan B at the beginning of my business. It was my license. I used to drive tractor trailers and shit, and my license renewal came in the mail. This is after I'd already started my dog training company, and so I'm sitting. I just felt some way about it when I pulled it out of the mailbox and I put it on my kitchen table, and I walked past it 10 times a day traveling through the house. I'd look at it, and I'd wake up in the morning, have my coffee, and just stare at that envelope and going, why do I feel some way about this shit? And it was about my third year in business, and that was my plan B. That was my backup plan. If this doesn't work, I can always go back to driving tractor trailers. And I sat there one morning, it finally hit me, and I was like, that's the motherfucker that's holding me back. Yeah. I tore that shit in half, threw it in the trash, boy, and I'm going to tell you something. For those 3 years, I thought I was pretty fucking motivated. There ain't nothing like your fucking head on fire than no backup plan.
No safety net.
Eye of the tiger, dude.
No safety
100%.
net.
It's the way it is, you know, and it ain't for everybody. That's the thing,
right.
You know, because it's a mindset, you know. And when you have that mindset, to have things like I have things, it's like a tree. The tree is my plan A. But I don't want to have a shaved fucking tree. But I do different branches. I do master classes. I do what do you call it when you talk to people? You know, motivational speeches and all that shit. I've done coaching. I've done so many things that has to do within the world that I live in, which is music.
Still on the same tree.
Yeah. But to have like a job on the side, not even during COVID, I said, fuck that shit, man.
Yeah.
It ain't going to happen. Because I know, you know, I have the same feeling. I might get shit for this one, but it's the same thing for me with the cocaine. I'd never touch it because I probably fucking love it. Hence, I don't do drugs.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'd bet that'd be my fucking drug. Maybe me losing the house, family, and everything, but I'll be.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the plan B, you know. But like I always tell the kids when I do this shit, you need to love what you do. I always get the question, do your kids do music as well? I said, my son Julius, man, he's a quite good guitar player. It's good rhythm and all that shit. But do I see this one in him? No.
Right.
I don't see in maybe Marley, my girl. But she's still young. But I've never seen the drive. And if you don't have the drive, this is the wrong fucking business because it's a ruthless, reckless fucking business that I love and fucking hate, you know? And but to be able to pick yourself up every time you get knocked down, you need that special love.
Yeah.
You know? And
like you said, it's not for everybody. That's for sure.
It's not for it's not for everybody. You know,
if everybody could do it, everybody'd be doing it, right?
Unfortunately, a lot of people still do it. You know, that's one thing, man. It's like some of these kids that sent me the songs, they're gonna release it and stuff. You know, and I'm like, when I release stuff, man, it's like on every fucking demo that I do, I think I have around between 6, depend on the song and the vibe and all that shit, between 6 or 8 demos, versions of different tempos with different this. And by the time it comes out, I vetted the fucking song in and out, not for people, but to the point where I say, only thing it needs now is real drums and real people playing on it.
Yeah, right.
And it's fucking done, you know. But the road there is it's time consuming.
Yeah.
But it's not hard for me. I love it because I want to release, you know, you might not like my music, but you can never say that it's fucking bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
And that's the mentality I always had, you know. There's music styles I fucking hate, but some of the songs, woo, you know, oh fucking, I say, hey, bow down, you know. I wouldn't go to a concert to save my fucking life, you know, but I can't say it's bad. You know what I mean?
So when you're writing now, like, do you have a home studio, or do you feel like you need to go put yourself in, like, do you need to go somewhere else to be in that kind of in that mindset or that work mode to write or to record a demo, or like, what does that process like?
No, man, I love the fact that I can just go to my studio, man.
Oh, good.
And sure, it's always, but I've always been a lone writer, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, the only thing nowadays that I take myself off from is lyrics. I stopped that.
Got it.
Years ago.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
Man.
Like
it's impossible for me to do lyrics now. Forget it, man.
Yeah.
How many big booty bitches I'm gonna write about? Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
And I've come to an age now where, you know, my sense of humor might not transcend to the new woke generation of people. You know,
Right.
I thought I was going to get a lot of shit for that one in Doggy Style, but that was before, you know, the whole idiocracy started.
Yeah. Well, they'd probably have a hell of a lot of streams now.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that too. Like, what is it like now? Like the transition from having to sell physical records, play out, make your money where you can, write songs for others when you need, or when you have the opportunity, or whatever mode you're in. But now you got Spotify, you got streaming services, and of course you don't have to divulge any numbers. It didn't have to be real specific, but you've got millions upon millions upon millions of streams, and like, what is that? I don't even know how to ask the right question, because I don't need you to give me a number, but like, does that make a significant impact in your income, or is it just kind of pennies on the dollar because it's so many millions of streams?
No, it's like, I saw this interview with Snoop, and I love Snoop, man. He could have stopped going to Paris because he looks fucking ridiculous.
Pretty funny, actually.
Like,
yeah.
But anyway, he said that he had, I think it's that song, "Young, Wild and Free" or some shit, and it's got 1 billion streams. I think he made $40,000
off a billion.
Yeah, for 1 billion.
What?
Yeah, $40,000.
That's a fucking huge ripoff.
And that's what he was talking about. But here's the thing. He probably just went in. He got fuckloads of money, probably just to sing the fucking song. I don't know if it's Bruno Mars' song or if it's his song. I think it's featuring Snoop. That means Snoop got $20,000 just to, you know,
show up.
That and fucking do his rap, you know, fucking type of thing. So I guess he was happy. But then he gets from the publishing or from the record company, not the publishing has nothing to do with the Spotify clicks, but so that means he gets a little point, 10% or whatever, out of all that money. So it's, you don't make money as an artist. The ones that make money is the record company. And that's what I understood from the Palma live album. Recouped everything. The album cost 230,000 Swedish kronor. This is around $20,000. And I was thinking to myself, you know, good luck recouping that in these fucking days. But they fucking did.
Yeah.
Thanks to, because they own the thing, and the plays on Spotify just went fucking crazy. Right. And that's where I realized I need to own the master. That's it. That's how you make money.
That's where you make your money.
That's where you're making money.
You don't have to. Nobody's cut in on it unless you cut them in on it. Yeah.
There you go. And since I had already had established a fan base, so I said, "Fuck it, man. I pay everything myself." And I know every motherfucker and his cousin, man. So it didn't cost me anything actually, just to record the shit, you know. And and I own the rights. I could do whatever the fuck I want to do with it. I don't have to talk to involve tons of other people, and that's the way to do it. To own your own fucking master and hope that you get into those playlists and it kicks off and don't buy these fucking. I hate these when I see it everywhere. Are you struggling to get clicks on blah 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 and some fucking guys?
Oh yeah.
And all that shit. And no, man, create your own fan base, but make sure that the quality is there. But if you look around, the ones who actually do good stuff are the ones that eventually gets into those playlists, And this is what I'm trying to tell these kids. They have zero quality control. They just fucking release it. I did. That would be like me releasing my demos back in the fucking day on a cassette. Hey man, we'll buy a cassette for $20. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And so it's like so I always try to have that in my mind, that the quality has to be 100%. It has to be spot on, and I don't release anything that I don't believe in.
That's insightful, man. Because I'm sitting here thinking, man, goddamn, how many times did I fuck that up? Because it's so, you got a new song, you got a new thing, you just want to go, hey, check it out, blah, blah, blah. It's like trying to take the time to write the parts to that meticulous or record them well enough so it just sonically sounds good. When you put it in, it's not like the guitar levels up here or the kick drums blowing your speakers up or, So when you do your demos in your studio, or do you do the entire thing in your studio, or do you write in the studio, then go or in your studio and then take it to I don't know, somewhere else to actually track those final tracks? Or are you able to do it all at your house?
No,
or at your home studio?
On the My Control album, I actually went to Switzerland and recorded it, because we recorded a live album there called Straight to Tape.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I think, is that the one you put on vinyl? No.
Yes, that's the
one. Oh, it is. Yeah, because I've got that one.
Yeah, and the guy Ralph, who owns the studio, I just love that warm sound of tape. So I said, I called him up and I said, man, I want to record the guitars. The guy said, pop in, man. So I was there for like 3 days. And what I like about it is that I recorded from the beginning to end. No punch-ins, nothing.
Nice.
Which is so easy to do when you sit in the studio. You just fuck up and you just, because I never copy-paste. I play everything.
Yeah.
And I try to always play from the beginning to the end. If I do a mistake, I don't punch in. I go back to the beginning.
Wow.
Because that's where, those beautiful mistakes happen,
Yeah.
Because nowadays people cut off those beautiful mistakes. And because it has to be perfect. And for me, that's boring for me, If something happens, it happens. But it can only happen when you do from the beginning to the end, I believe. But not if you sit there in the comfort of your own studio and you can redo the guitars about 900 fucking times. But I can tell you this, most of the solos that I've done on the last albums, I did in my studio. Because from the demos, I kept the demo, like Birds and Bees, that's from the demo.
Right.
Most of the songs, like Preacher, that's from the demo. I tried to redo that one. I was like, I still have to relearn that mother. I don't know what kind of nut I was on that fucking day. Because I tried to emulate that solo. I just couldn't. It was just a vibe that I couldn't redo,
Yeah.
Because I was relaxed. I was just, okay, I'm thinking about doing, okay, and it's fucking impossible to redo it again. But so I kept it,
Right.
But that's why I like doing stuff like, even when I track bass, I just don't track bass. I tune the bass, I got new strings on it, and I play it to like 98% if I want to redo it later. Or if I want to use it, it's going to be good enough to keep that bass. You know what I mean?
Right.
Normally, those basses are much better than okay, red track, and then you start thinking, you know?
Right.
And so most of these things, that's why I'm really picky with the demos, because like I said, 80% of the solos on Mind Control is from the demos.
That's a good record, man. Really good.
So I'd rather spend 2 hours finding the right guitar sound than fixing it later in the mix. Fuck that shit. That's not happening. So
that makes a lot of sense.
And I think that's an old school mentality.
It is. It definitely is, man. Because nowadays, I've just done a little hobby recording a little while back, and the guy's like, "Oh, you want to punch that? No." You want to punch that? You want to punch that? I was like, maybe. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Sometimes yes, sometimes not.
Just because you can nowadays. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So the technology is just beyond ridiculous. I mean, like back in the day, you had to fucking play it all the way through.
Dude, you could actually punch in then as well, but you had to know your shit. And back in the day, sure, we punched in, man. Even the drummer, that guy is insane, you know. So there's a reason why there's a punch button, but at that time we didn't have the digital stuff that we have now. So now I'm even more aware of not punching. Do you know what I mean? At that time, that was the way it was supposed to. Oh man, I messed up. Just punch me in after the second chorus, and then you just did it. You know. Now, out of a principle, I go back to the beginning and I redo the whole thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because of it's digital to digital to digital. You know, just the loop never ends.
You still keep some of that old school vibe, even though you're using modern equipment.
Exactly, Mundo.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Way. So that's
it works. It works, dude. Because man, it's half of those streams are probably mine. Because that shit's in rotation, dude. That shit's on. It's on all the time. It's if I'm in the car, Cry of Love's gonna play. You're gonna play, and a handful of others, but very few. It's a very tight playlist of shit that I'm like,
love it.
Yeah. Like I'm good. If I had a fucking damn race car, I'd have that thing redlined right now. You know?
I love it, man. Oh,
yeah, man.
That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. You know, that makes just hearing this makes what I do what it's all about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when people still today, I mean, I'm turning 60 this year, and I'm still loving what I do. The passion, the drive. I'm not as naive as I was when I was younger, which is of course part of life. But that naiveness was what made me happen, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Now I just want to, capitalize from all the hard work and just enjoy it,
right.
what I do for as long as I'm physically possible to do what I do, Hopefully I'm on the stage, man. That would be fucking epic.
Yeah,
I mean,
one of my blues tunes.
Hey, well, Shane.
I didn't wake up this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe on my tombstone. He didn't wake up.
Yeah, he didn't wake up this morning. Didn't kiss the wife goodbye.
Hey, so
I was looking at some worms because I can't see the sky. I got a whole record going. Just don't worry about it. I'll write it for you. I'll send it to you.
There's your lyrics right there, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Shane, man. you got to do some business. We forgot to read your spiel.
Oh yeah, we have a sponsor.
We should wind up. Yeah, so
we got to wind it up. 1 second here, just a moment. We've finally got our first podcast sponsor, and the fun part about it is they've sent us a whole bunch of stuff, which we're going to send to you. Going to have some kakalaki is what it's called. It's a barbecue sauce made here in
kakalaki in Sweden means roach. No, what do you call those little nasty?
Roaches.
Roaches.
Cockroach.
Really? So kakalaki is a word in Sweden.
Kakalaki.
For real?
Kakalaka. That's a roach.
No shit.
Oh my God.
I
gotta tell. That's awesome. Well, let me tell you all about kakalaki. No roaches in kakalaki.
Yeah.
So kakalaki is hailed as the local brand with a national following. Now celebrating more than 2 decades in business, North Carolina-based Kakalaki brand is the iconic Southern lifestyle brand that specializes in Kakalaki branded sauces, snack nuts, beverages, food service and menu items, apparel, outdoor sporting goods, sponsored events, and more. The company makes and distributes Kakalaki Cheerwine sweet sauce as well as the Carolina Tar Heels barbecue sauce, and officially licensed collegiate product. Kakalaki is a family-owned and operated business that is based in Pittsburgh, North Carolina, and all of our listeners for the Butt Fixer podcast go to kakalaki.com, put in ButtFixer15, that's a 15, ButtFixer15 in your checkout, and you will receive 15% off of your purchases. And as being a guest on our podcast, we're going to send you a little bit of North Carolina right to Sweden, and I want to see something on the grill with some kakalaki on it.
Oh, dude, I haven't had time to do some barbecuing. Now you give me
a good reason. Yeah, there you go.
Right.
It'd be a good reason to do
I'd
so.
love myself some kakalaki. I get
Yes, sir.
and all my musician friends, because they all been on my fucking, because I've been in Germany, I've been fucking everywhere now, and because when the family is in Spain every summer, because usually I go there the last week. But this year I haven't had time, so we always have a party here, like a wild fucking party, and we do the barbecue. So everybody's been on my case about, man, what's with that party, man? Family's gone. So I'm going to use that fucking kakalaki.
Get it to you.
Yeah, make sure you send me when we hang up. Message me your address so I can get it in the mail to you. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll send you a bunch of goodies, man. Right from well, Paulo, man, I cannot even begin to form a sentence that would make sense of the gratitude that I have that you would spend your time with us. I think what you do
twice
is fucking amazing. If I don't know, there's just, for people that music touches their soul, this is the shit you want touching it. This is it. It's, if it moves you, you need to get this in your ear hole today. So go to Spotify, anywhere you stream music.
We'll drop it. We'll drop it in the description too.
Yeah. We'll put the links in, but man, I mean, it's I could probably do this all fucking day, and it's because it's inspiring as a musician. You know, I haven't graduated to player yet. I'm still the musician, and it's so inspiring to hear your story, and that you. It's nice to hear somebody that made it. And made it doesn't need to be mansions. It's you supported your entire life doing what you fucking love, man. Yeah. And that's what this podcast is all about, is highlighting those people that have done those extraordinary things. So we're really grateful for your time.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you a ton, man. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. And, hopefully this can inspire some, because there's always, you always come to a point in your career where you say, fuck it, but hang in there, big boy.
We'll do it. Hey, man, Paulo, when we shut it off, keep your app open for a couple of minutes. There'll be a message there. You see your name on there. It'll say upload complete or something like that. 100% upload. It takes about 1 minute after we log off here. After I hit stop.
I'll just keep it rolling, right?
Keep it rolling for a minute. Yeah. We'll let you know. We can do it now. I'm going to turn it off now. Thank you again, but you'll still hear us?
Yeah. Thank you for listening to this edition of the Butt Fixer Podcast. Stay tuned for more guests, more stories, and more butt fixes. Make sure you click like, subscribe, and follow at all of the places where you stream podcasts.